Chapter 29. Residuals. Alexander Pierce did not sleep. The city below his office thinned into geometry, grids of light and movement, patterns he had spent his life believing could be optimized, predicted, contained. The drive still sat where Isabella had left it, unmoved, undeniable. At 3:17 a.m., he made his decision. He didn't call a lawyer. He didn't contact the committee. He didn't seek permission. He opened a secure channel and began uploading files. Not all of them, not recklessly. He chose structure, process memos, voting frameworks. The internal language that turned lives into variables and suffering into acceptable loss. He attached his name, not as confession, as authorship. By sunrise, the system felt it, not as panic, as dissonance. The first response was denial, carefully worded statements emphasizing continuity, stability, restraint. Markets opened on time, pensions held. The lattice absorbed the shock exactly as it had been designed to do. But something had changed. People started asking how decisions were made, not just who made them. That question could not be cleaned. Lisa watched the coverage unfold from a quiet park bench beyond the manicured walkways. The same bench, the one people passed without memory. Lisa sat now where it had all calibrated. She didn't smile, she didn't cry, she watched. Mike stood nearby, hands in his pockets, phone buzzing intermittently. His house was no longer in foreclosure. His accounts were stabilizing. Nothing had been fixed, but the pressure had redistributed. Anna would come home, not today, but someday. Elara sat on the far end of the bench, scrolling through a dozen open tabs. No single villain, no single hero, just exposure of method. "This isn't a win," Elara said quietly. "No," Lisa replied. "It's a correction." Across the city, Gray Finch watched her dashboards empty. Not go dark, but simplify. Layers removed, protocols paused, maintenance downgraded. She had not been erased, but she had been seen. For the first time, Gray felt something like relief. Not because the system was gone, but because it would no longer be invisible. The lattice survived. It always would. Systems that complex didn't collapse. They adapted, shed skins, learned new ways to justify themselves. But the illusion of inevitability had fractured. People would still serve systems. They would still rationalize. They would still trade discomfort for comfort, but now there would be awareness, a residue. Lisa stood from the bench and looked once more at the ordinary park, the children laughing, the birds restless in the hedges. Nothing looked different, which was the point. The most dangerous systems weren't exposed by spectacle. They were weakened by understanding. Lisa Carter walked away without being followed. Behind her, the bench remained exactly where it had always been, a place that suggested nothing consequential had ever occurred there. And for anyone not paying attention, that would still be true. End